Source, Great Spirit, beloved helpers, we come by your grace, by your love, to bask in your glory and to be a gift and a contribution. And so it is.
Luckless Judas, Jewish, Buddhist, pray to Jesus Christ, I've seen it all. All is life until death final. I've read Don Quixote so slow. Passion's folly, poison molly, kiss me so sweet out in the street light.
Welcome. This is episode number 2 of Collapsing Time. I really enjoyed making the last video, and as is the case with everything like this, it's always a great vehicle that the Spirit is using for my healing. And so I just had the idea of "Have you been resurrected?" running through my mind the last few days since that was posted. And it seems for me that resurrection, we can look at it as a daily practice, a daily demonstration of our commitment to going home. So, have you found yourself feeling lighter and brighter? Have you found yourself noticing your ability to let go of old ideas and old ways of being? I've noticed it for myself, and I'm so grateful to know the difference of how I'm feeling, to notice when I'm being uplifted or when I'm just in some kind of fantasy land. We learn discernment as we walk our path. We learn to be so attuned to the Spirit that there's not a lot of room for confusion, denial. In the last recording, there was a message of how spiritual practices are really only helpful in ultimately bringing us into a state of mind and a state of receptivity where time is collapsed. I was seeing the time in my life when I really could very clearly see I was making a choice for healing. And it seemed to have been kicked off by my mother almost dying. I was probably about 24, 25 years old. And I was just miserable in my mind. I was stressed out, anxious, worried, fearful. And I didn't like it. And I didn't know what to do about it. And that really started me very intensively on a healing path. I found myself very much drawn to spiritual literature. And at the time I was living in Manhattan, that was another thing that kicked off some deep healing. I went to Manhattan and was seemingly going there for a boyfriend, and he ended up not joining me after I had gotten a new job and an apartment for us, etc. So I was in a very dark place and really didn't want to be here. This place didn't make sense to me. But I had the gift of being in Manhattan in that there were lots of really great bookstores. And one of them was the Himalayan Institute's bookstore, East West Books. And they had everything you could want that was really my cup of tea. And I spent thousands of dollars on spiritual literature. There wasn't much that I was finding in the libraries. So a lot of stuff there lit a fire in me, and it also amplified the darkness. It amplified what was not in alignment for me. There's something to the early stages of our healing journey that can feel worse than we think we felt before we got on our path. It was also a time of a lot of kind of self-help literature, and I was drawn to a bit of it, but mostly that just felt empty for me. I had an awareness that I needed a spiritual solution to my state of mind. My mind needed to look at spiritual concepts and spiritual paths in lots of different ways. So I'm one of those people that has explored a lot of paths. Buddhism, Vedanta, energy practices, A Course in Miracles, shamanism. For me, I've walked a varied path, and what I found for myself is that the Spirit is there everywhere. The divine is ever present. If you know me, you know I don't feel that there's one way to go home. When I went into any new arena, it was like a new life. It was like I was born again. It was, this is a breath of fresh air. Each of the different paths that I explored, it was like the Spirit was unlocking some part of my mind that had been boarded up, left to get dusty with cobwebs over it. Every time I opened a new door that looked like a new path, it was so enriching and so helpful. I don't suggest that for others. I do feel that there's a real value in sticking to a path. Just as in the world there are countless distractions, countless invitations into come here and you're gonna be happy. Come over here and you're gonna be satisfied. Hey, how about you come over here? This is really where you want to be. Looking back in hindsight, I really saw that I had to face my beliefs. I had to face my mind. I had to face my unconscious. And I seemed to need to face what might have been other lifetimes where I propagated or perpetrated an idea, a teaching. I had to face what seemed to be lifetimes where I was in community with others that I had old business to make right on. I seemed to need to park my energy in different containers to receive new insights or to be a vehicle for the Spirit to plant a seed for someone else. Some people can be on a specific path and it becomes rote. It becomes a mask, it becomes a symbol, it becomes an identity, but they're not actually in the fire of transformation on their path. We can say we're spiritually inclined, we can say we're on our path, and we can be completely asleep, and we can be in total denial, and we can be in a deep transformational process and still not be going home. There's a lot to be said about watching out for lip service. Am I giving lip service to the idea that I'm devoted to the divine, that I'm really walking my spiritual path, whether you're on a specific path or whether you've walked down 1,000,001 paths? There's no right way to go home. There's no one way to go home. For me, I definitely have been shown paths where many truth is one. And I'm grateful for my experience of it. I'm grateful my mind has been opened out of arrogance of thinking I know the right way, or out of arrogance of thinking that my way is the good way. There's a lot of arrogance in the spiritual arenas and on the spiritual path that we should be aware of and just paying attention to. You can find teachers that are offering under the label of spiritual teachings a way to manifest out of thin air. You can find people that will tell you how to levitate. You will find people that will tell you how to heal the body. You will find people that will tell you in a million different ways how to go home. There's no value for me in judging how anyone else is going about their journey. And every path and every practitioner on the path has something to show me about myself and potentially offer me that would be valuable. The deep inner transformation has to be a lived experience. Ultimately, we have to be having the experience of the awakening. And again, there are many paths that can take us to those realizations. I found myself infused by light and reoriented within myself in many different ways. So it's not the path, it's the inner journey. We will be guided into the places that are right for us and that are right for the Great Awakening. We will be led to be in service to ourselves and to our fellows if we are asking to be taken over by the divine, to be guided to our awakening. The idea of collapsing time, though, ultimately is what I feel we're drawn to. The idea of any spiritual practice at this point has really kind of been boiled down, distilled down in the purification with spirit into very practical, basic elements. My spiritual practices are to remind myself, what am I doing? What is this for? And so I use my spiritual practices for remembrance, for surrender, and then for doing the best to be in the flow with the spirit. But all of those things ultimately are leading me in my mind to the collapsing of time, to the forgiveness of all the experiences and all the teachings and all the wisdom and all the lessons and everything that has been in my seeming slice of the divine mind. It's all got to go. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pretty, the feel good, the feel like suffering, all of it. If I want to be truly transcending the world, it's all got to go. And so for me, the ultimate purpose of a spiritual practice is really inviting the end. It's inviting the destruction of anything and everything that I've imagined myself to be as a seeming body, as a seeming form, so that I can be reconnected completely and totally with the truth, which is that I am in the divine mind, undefined, limitless, without form. So maybe this message is for those of you that are chasing the bouncing ball into every concept spiritually. We can go about looking to acquire more. We're looking for more wisdom. We're looking for more tools. We're looking for more things that we can say about our path. The mind is constantly running from itself. So the spirit has a big job to divest us of all these ways of being. So if we're using our spiritual practice to avoid ourselves, avoid our emotions, avoid the thought forms that we're running, to avoid the constructs that we have bought into, then we're really not on our path. Again, it's just lip service. So this is one of those just deep invitations that I feel the Spirit has given me all the time. Are you actually calling forth the fire of purification, the fire of transformation to help you dissolve back into the light? Are you inviting the light in to dismantle you, to take you to the end? That is the point of the spiritual path as far as I've experienced it. And the ones that have sort of reached through time to say, wake up, they were talking about that dissolution, that dissolving into the light of the Spirit, the light of the divine. So whatever that means to you today, only you will know, but that's the contribution from here. I'm sending you lots of love.